We have two other requests to speak on. One on item 7, Joanne Colonna. And Joanne, if you'll please raise your right hand, as this is a quasi-judicial item, and so your testimony will be added to the record for that item.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Answer by saying, I do.
I do.
All right, please give your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Joanne Colonna. I actually wanted to speak on a few of the items on your agenda. I chose number 7. It's about a subdivision and a development. I'm all for progress. What I'm not for is the fact that once we have such progress, the schools and the school board has to commit to building new schools. Years ago, when some of you might not have been born, they had a PUD, plant unit development, that every developer went before, and they would allocate a certain amount of properties and a certain for schools and a certain amount of ground for playgrounds and roads. It seems the developments today are building. They give small turning lanes. It's impossible unless you drive back and forth with a helicopter to get around Osceola County anymore. I think the infrastructure needs some addressing prior to approving the subdivisions going in. So we're in a roadblock constantly driving on any one of the streets in Osceola County. That's my complaint for today.
Wonderful. And please
Good
give your
evening,
name and address for the
My name
record.
is Mark Peters. I'm here pretty much what Joanne has mentioned regarding the traffic, the development, and the situation with schools. I know Commissioner Booth came from that area. He was previously on the school board, and the effects of schools right now with the lack of bus drivers, the lack of transportation. Children are not being picked up in the mornings. Sometimes they're missing classes for days because they're skipping. There's a lot of mess going on within the schools. And yes, this is happening now. And we don't know the situation, what's going to take place as more of these development takes place. But I've always seen that staff recommends approval. And right below that, it mentions about, and this is number 7, there's a problem with meeting the demand for the middle school in the future years coming for the new subdivisions going to be built. And when we have a situation, especially in District 3, where aggressive driving, but it's throughout the county, causes excessive amounts of fatalities and accidents. And, when COVID started last year, all the commissioners stepped forward and you did all you can to protect us. It was even being said that, some of the residents are ignorant. If we don't protect them, they'll kill themselves. Well, in a sense, here we need you to take that same stance. You did a mask mandate with penalties because you needed to enforce this. We needed to be protected. Well, if you're not protecting us now against this is almost like COVID. The situation across the county is causing higher premiums in insurance. It's causing lives to be affected. I mean, someone can get into an accident and they will recover, but that lasting effect on them mentally and financially goes beyond years. Previously, Commissioner Hawkins, State Rep Hawkins, mentioned that when he was 16, he was involved in an accident that till to this day, he's in his 40s, I'm not sure in the 40s, however old he is, he still remembers and still feels the effect of that. Now, recently there was an accident on Pleasant Hill Road involving 2 17-year-olds that died because of a crossover, happened in District 3. Now, it was reckless driving, cause of it, I don't know the details exactly, but there was some situations came out of that. Now, today it might be someone else's family that dies or gets injured. Tomorrow it could be any one of our family member or ourselves. We're asking you to step up and do something. Yes, you have influence on the sheriff, maybe KPD and Six O'Clock Police. Enforcement is more needed on our roadways. Sheriff Lopez mentioned that 95% of his effort is focused on crime, and 5% is probably spread out on other things. So there's not a lot of focus on the roadways. And the guys who break these rules on the road are criminals, but they know they can get away with it because it's not being enforced. Whatever you guys can do, I'm not here to give you all the solutions. I'm not here to mention what we need help with. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Peters.